Welcome back everybody to another video. Today is going to be a very different video. I always say this at the beginning of every video that I've had in the past God knows how many months. That's because I'm trying some new stuff. But today we're going to be baking. On March 21st it was Mother's Day, and in light of that I decided I was going to use one of my mom's recipes from her channel, link in bio, Rula Yummies. Check it out. Best recipes, delicious food, very easy. I'm telling you, you should be sold by now. Just go subscribe. Anyways, but I'm gonna be making one of the recipes that my mom has put on her channel for this like cinnamon apple puff pastry muffin. And I'm gonna be taking you guys with me and showing you how to make it. The recipe today is quite simple. It only needs 6 ingredients. Some puff pastry, some apples, some honey, some cinnamon, some walnuts, and last but not least some powdered sugar for decoration. You can probably see how much you need of each right now. And then for what tools you might be needing, honestly you're only gonna need a bowl, a knife, and then a brush. You don't really need one. You could really just use a spoon to spread something out. And then you need a muffin tray. That's what you need for sure. Before we get started with any of these ingredients, first preheat your oven to 200 degrees Celsius. Once you've preheated the oven, now all you're going to need is your apple in front of you, your cutting board, and your knife. We're going to be cutting these apples into very thin slices because we're going to be using them as kind of a design for the roses. So first thing I would recommend is you cut it like straight in half. So they're kind of like that. Once you've cut your apples into halves, you take the half and you're going to be cutting it into really thin slices across vertically. So when I say really thin, really try and get them as thin as you can, just so they can fold nicely. And you don't feel like you're not going to be able to fold them. So don't be afraid if you don't end up cutting them too thin, because we're going to be soaking them in some water and some sugar. What are your guys' opinions on apples? Like, I came here to the UK and I see the apples and they're too light. I like them to be like blood red apples, and that just doesn't seem to exist here. I mean, I recognize that possibly, just possibly, there just might be too much wax and too much genetic modification in the fruits that we have back home, but regardless of that, I still think really red apples just taste so much better and so much sweeter, so if anyone agrees, hit me up. I have just finished chopping my apples into really thin slices, so now you're going to get your second tool, which is your bowl, and you're going to be basically just taking them and just dumping them inside, because we're going to be filling it with some water. You don't have to put that much water, but you just have to make sure every piece is submerged in the water. And then we're going to put a little bit of sugar in there. Also optional, I mean, I didn't realize I should probably put this in the ingredients, but if you have some lemons, it would be nice to squirt some lemon in there, just to speed up the softening process. I'm one of those people that likes to eat while they're cooking, so I don't know if you guys are the same, but these apples are actually really good. Even if they're not as red as I like, they are very good. Once you've put your apples into the water with some sugar and a little bit of lemon, if you've got some, just gonna take it and then put it aside. Make sure it rests there and gets soaked up so it's soft. And then you're just gonna bring your honey, your cinnamon, and your walnuts. And you're just going to dip in the cinnamon into the honey and the walnuts, and then just mix it until you have a paste. And that's going to be basically the filling of these cinnamon apple puff pastry muffins. So yeah, when you start getting that nice paste kind of feely thing, you know you're doing the right thing. Now for me, I feel like I didn't actually crush my walnuts too finely, so it's quite like a nutty mixture, and we'll have some texture, but I think I wanted that crunch, which is why I did it that way. If you do feel that your mixture is not that like runny, it doesn't have to be so runny, but it should be spreadable, then I do recommend you add a little bit more honey, just so you can spread it out. The next step now, you're going to need a knife, and then you're just going to need your puff pastry, and we're going to be cutting them into small rectangles so we can get ready and start turning them around into their little nice muffin shapes. So stay with me. So I really like Just Roll pastry. This is not sponsored, not branded, not anything like that, but I just really like it. Not just Roll, but I mean just like puff pastry that is like this. Because I mean, You can make savory foods with it, you can make sweet foods with it, and honestly, like, if you're really stressed out about making a dough from scratch, this is just super good. A quick, easy fix. Yes, so once you've laid out your puff pastry roll, I think it's just really good to kind of cut them into rectangles, little small rectangles, which I will be showing you a close-up of. But like, I would say like maybe the size of, like, you know, you have those like little like sections in your fingers, maybe 2.5 of them should do pretty good, as in for like the width of the rectangles. You've probably just finished cutting your puff pastry. I do recommend that you don't keep them out for too long because they start to get really sticky. But we're gonna get to making our little muffins. But beforehand, with your baking tray, make sure that you are just greasing it up so it doesn't get stuck when we're trying to pull them out. So be sure to grease your pan right now, and it's time to get to some muffin making. Now to get to actually making one of the muffins. So you're gonna get your rectangular piece that we've made, and you're gonna imagine a line right across the middle horizontally. And you're going to get some of your filling and you're gonna put it on the top half of that line when you think about it. So that will be our filling for the muffin. So it's gonna have some crunch to it from the walnuts. It's gonna have some cinnamon because of the, you know, cinnamon, whoa. And then it's also gonna have some sweet tasting honey. So after you put some of that over here, you're going to get 3 slices of your apples. I recommend you find the thinnest one so it's the easiest to actually turn them around. And you're gonna kind of layer them over each other and have a little bit of them peeking out from on top of the rectangle, so when we roll them around they can give us those like nice flower shapes. And to hold them in place, what you're gonna need to do is you're gonna fold the bottom half of that rectangle and you're gonna just use it. Just make sure it's not getting too warm where you're at so it's not sticky. And then you're going to just push it closed like that. And you're gonna grab it and you're gonna roll it on itself. And you'll see what that looks like once I thin in. And then you have your little rose shaped muffin guy. So I'm gonna do this for every single one. Do take your time, don't feel the need to rush it, and it should turn out really well. This is proof to you guys that anyone can make this. My friend Jasmine is making them! Yay! She's helping me out.
More? Less?
Did you like cinnamon?
Yeah.
Do you think that's enough?
No.
This is the nice thing about these recipes, guys. Like, if you like cinnamon and you want some more, you just slap some on there.
Okay, there we go.
So this is now the most really challenging part of the recipe. It's not that challenging if you silk your apples well enough.
Apple.
Uno apple?
Dose apple.
Dose apple. While she's putting and finding her trace apple, just to show you, this is what they're looking like right now. Looking pretty snazzy. Oh, she's doing the folding. Okay.
Now we...
This is the tough part. Just roll. If you hear a crack, it's okay.
God, this is terrifying. Oh. Come on, bro.
Just commit.
I'm committing.
And then just stuff them in there. Look at that. That's so nice. Look at that. Look at that. There we go. I now have them as they are and they look really good. I did get some help from Jasmine, which is quite nice. So if you have a friend to do this with, it'll be great. It'll be fun. Now is time. Now it is the time to put these in the oven. It's gonna need 22 minutes on 200 degrees. And then if you would like them to be a bit crunchy on the top, do grill them for a minute or two afterwards. But yeah, so 22 minutes. See, what's nice about this recipe is that you have 18 minutes to wait. Not too long. It's the perfect amount of time because you can watch a show if you're really like just bored. It's one episode and it's almost done. Well, not almost done, actually done with 2 minutes to spare. Look at that, speedy. But it really would mean a lot to me if you guys could go check out her channel, subscribe, share it with your friends. She's at 21,000 subscribers at the moment, which is insane. She started out with just a phone and her passion for cooking, and now she is where she's at, and she's gonna be making so many more recipes for Ramadan, so you guys, please tune in. I hope you guys did some fun stuff on Mother's Day, so I hope you guys did something nice, and I hope you constantly remember to thank your moms for everything that they do, and just be very appreciative of your family in general. The reason why I love cooking, and not baking that much, why I do like baking when it's something simple like this, is because it really brings people together. So I'm going to be having these muffins or cupcakes, I don't even know what to call them, to be honest, but with my flatmates, and it'll be amazing. I don't know about you guys, but I think I like cinnamon desserts so much more than like chocolatey ones. And I also like homemade desserts more than like store-bought ones. There are some exceptions. There are some things that just taste so much better bought, but those are kind of more like special types of dessert. Like if you want to buy a cake, like I honestly think homemade cakes will like take the cake. Well, no pun intended. But anyways, yeah. So you just heard me babble on for a little bit until these finish. And I'll come back to you once they're done. They are finally out. They are looking so nice. They're smelling even better, to be honest. You guys are unloading them, so I recommend you use a fork. And you get yourself a nice looking plate so you can take a nice picture at the end and like be like, oh my god, look what I made, it looks so nice, you know? And then you're just gonna bring your fork on the sides of each muffin. Hopefully it shouldn't have stuck if you greased your pan. And then you just basically place them in there. Let's try again on the second one. Just getting him around the sides. And he should come straight out. Okay, so now I have the nice presentable plate that I'm going to be taking a picture of and showing you close up. But to just show you how you could decorate these, I'm gonna first try with my fingers so I can see whether that works out and whether you don't need a sieve or not. But you just get a little bit of powdered sugar and just kind of just like salt bait. You'll kind of get some nice results going. You know, it'll kind of look really nice. Real subtle. Not too sugary, you can control how much you want. I think I'm gonna stick to my fingers because I honestly am the type of person who I love things looking really nice, but I also love them looking like homemade. So it doesn't look like a perfect, like, you know, powdery, sugary, kind of like cupcake. It's all good for me, you know? So, yeah. They are looking so good. I literally can't wait to taste them. I'm gonna be having Jazz helping me taste them, by the way, just so you guys can see that I'm not biased. No, I have not paid her to say she likes them, so don't worry about that. A familiar face is here! Jacko is here! She is here to taste these muffins.
I'm so excited.
Do they smell good?
They smell so good.
See, you see, I'm not lying, guys. Check
She's really
Rula
not.
Yummies. Just check Rula Yummies, it's just the best thing you can have. Also, big thanks to Jazz for helping me with some of the shots, because I couldn't really do all that stuff on my own. So
Someone hire me to be a cameraman.
Okay, after you.
Oh my goodness. Oh.
Look at this. There we go. It's gonna be messy because it's puff pastry, but...
Let's do it. Mmm.
Mmm. That is good. Mmm.
So good.
That is actually so good.
There's like the right amount of cinnamon to apple.
100%.
The texture's so nice.
The texture is
because
really
the
nice.
apple's there, and then there's a bit of crunch.
It's sweet, but it's not overbearingly sweet.
Yeah.
And then as well, if you're someone who does like something super sweet, adding a little bit of powdered sugar does definitely make a difference. So,
I could eat a lot of these.
we got them, boys!
Yeah.
Happy Mother's Day in advance.
Happy Mother's Day.
In advance? Not in advance, actually.
Happy belated Mother's Day.
And enjoy your muffins if you're trying them.
Yeah.
Mmm.